2025 will be the year John Cena retires from in-ring competition.
Tonight, I officially announce my retirement from the WWE.
It'll be an incredibly fun full year with John Cena, but also a very sad one once it starts to get closer and closer to December, as that's the month where Cena aims to hang it all up. But that's 17 whole months away from the time of this recording, so in the meantime, there's still plenty of fun matches and rivalries he will be having in those 17 months. In today's video, we will be discussing possible rivalries and opponents John Cena can have before his retirement, and possible storyline routes they could go. So if you guys enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like and hit subscribe for more wrestling content. It's unknown if Cena will be wrestling at all this year, and it doesn't look like he'll be at SummerSlam. All we know is that his retirement tour officially starts at the Royal Rumble next year, so it's easy to assume that he'll actually be in the Rumble match. And if not that, then he'll be probably facing either the WWE Champion or the World Heavyweight Champion, who I think will be Cody Rhodes and Gunther as champions at that time. I think right off the bat, the storyline they should start with is the chase to number 17. I think that would make the most sense to start with that, because Cena knows he's only got 1 year left to officially break the record of Ric Flair. And his recent track record of wins and losses in singles matches have been more on the losing side. So the Rumble is a great place to start, and if it were up to me, I'd of course have Cena in the Rumble match itself, and maybe they could even do something a little fun and put him at entry number 17. But should he actually win the Royal Rumble? I personally don't think so, and if I'm real, I don't think he should break the record, and I don't think even Cena cares or wants to break it. One thing he did mention before though, is winning the Intercontinental Championship, as that's the only championship he's never won. It's actually bizarre how Cena isn't a Grand Slam champion in WWE, and I think him going for the IC title is a very intriguing route to go too. It's hard to say who the champion will be at that time, but if I'm a betting man, I think Braun Breaker will be the IC champion by 2025. And if they wanted to do Braun versus Cena at WrestleMania 41, you wouldn't hear any complaints from me. Though most people seemingly want Randy Orton versus John Cena at WrestleMania, since those two never had a singles match at WrestleMania before. But for me personally, I think Orton is someone they should save for more towards the end, and I'll talk about that later. So if Braun versus Cena is the match they do at WrestleMania for the IC title, does Cena go over? Once again, my answer is no. I think at the beginning of his retirement tour, Cena should be faced with self-doubt if he could even continue to finish the entire year, due to his singles match losing streak continuing. Now, he said that he's doing roughly 30 to 40 dates in 2025.
Hovering in the mid-30s to 40s, because I'm still going to try to juggle a lot of stuff that's going on.
But none of us really knows if that means in a wrestling capacity for all 40 dates, or if some of those will just be appearances, but I would imagine he'll be competing on some Raws and some SmackDowns. Especially with Raw going to Netflix, and I could see Cena facing someone in the main event of the first episode of Raw on Netflix. So that's when Cena can finally start picking up some wins and regaining his confidence, and for those matches, you could throw in guys like Carmelo Hayes, who would get a huge rub from facing Cena on a Raw or SmackDown. You could also throw in a Grayson Waller, since they've had interactions before. You could even throw in a Ludwig Kaiser or even a Ilya Dragunov. And then of course there's Dominic Mysterio. I think Cena will want to focus on working with younger guys in his last run, since he's such a giving type of guy. Cena beating those guys honestly wouldn't do them any harm, and it would put those guys in a good spotlight. But going back just a little bit, if Cena versus Braun for the IC title doesn't happen, Cena also said that he'll be at the Elimination Chamber. I could see Cena winning that and heading to WrestleMania to face someone who would be one of my biggest dream matches at the moment, Gunther. Cena versus Gunther is a huge WrestleMania match, and Cena doing the job for Gunther, who I assume will be the World Heavyweight Champion at that point, would do a lot for Gunther, especially when he would be Cena's final WrestleMania opponent. Now, some people have also said his WrestleMania opponent should be CM Punk, but I think that should be saved for Money in the Bank for very obvious reasons. No matter where it happens though, Punk versus Cena not happening in 2025 would be an absolute crime, and it's 100% something they need to revisit. Another huge match people are talking about is LA Knight versus John Cena, and this has to be a match we get at some point. It doesn't matter if it's just on a Raw or SmackDown or any PLE throughout the calendar year. This would be a match that wouldn't be that great probably, but it would be more about the types of promos we'd get between the two. We've seen LA Knight and John Cena on TV together before, but they were as tag team partners and not opponents. And I would love to see how LA Knight would fare against Cena on the mic. It would be fun to see Cena act like how he acted back in 2017 when he verbally destroyed Roman Reigns. Another huge match for Cena is undoubtedly Cody Rhodes. The build for a match between Cody and Cena would be very interesting, with how both guys are baby faces times 10. I mean, would they even roast each other on the mic? I could see a match between them being a passing of the torch type of scenario. And I definitely think it would be a missed opportunity if they don't do that match. And of course it could continue the chase for number 17 storyline. Another good opponent for Cena is Logan Paul. Now, no matter what you think about him, a match between Logan Paul and John Cena would be absolute money. This is easily a match I could see happening at one of the Saudi shows and would be built up amazingly. It could be a fun storyline where Cena wants to teach Logan the meaning of respect, since Logan has the reputation of being obnoxious and non-humble. A match between them was teased a little bit on Logan's podcast, and Logan has been saying for a while that Cena is a huge dream opponent for him. One match I actually haven't really been hearing from people, but I think would be a good one, is Drew McIntyre. Drew has been doing the best work of his career this year with how unhinged he's become, and I would love to see this current version of Drew interact with Cena to some capacity. I also think one more match between AJ Styles and John Cena would be something else they really should revisit. Their trilogy of singles matches in 2016 leading into 2017, starting at Money in the Bank and ending at the Royal Rumble, is a rivalry I will never forget, and it's very much a nostalgic thing for me. If they were to go at it once again in 2025, almost 10 years since their first match, which is wild to think about by the way, I don't think it would be nearly as good, with AJ being a little bit more limited than he was in 2016 due to his age, and with Cena showing as of late that he's significantly slowed down over the years. But with both guys very close to retirement, I think them facing each other one last time would be something special. Now, we all know the history between Bray Wyatt and John Cena, so what if we get something with Cena and the Wyatt Six? I think that would be very intriguing too. I'm not saying they should do a Firefly Funhouse 2.0 match or anything like that, but seeing Bo Dallas aka Uncle Howdy target Cena would make a lot of sense. There are plenty of storyline opportunities to explore with that. So a quick recap on all the big opponents I want to see Cena face. There's Gunther, Braun Breaker, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles, Bo Dallas, and lastly, Randy Orton. As I've said earlier, Randy Orton should 100% be safe towards the end of Cena's last run, and there are multiple ways they could go about it. The ideal situation for me would be that somehow Randy Orton gets to his 16th world title before December. Maybe he and Cody Rhodes will feud and they could trade the title back and forth a couple times, for example. And then the title could get stripped off of Orton somehow, and then Cena wins a number one contendership match. And we get Randy Orton versus John Cena for the final time. And the winner officially breaks the record of Ric Flair. And the winner could honestly go to either of these guys. They could easily give Cena one last world championship to then have him relinquish it immediately after, giving him the one thing he wanted to accomplish. But would Cena really want to retire with his hand raised high? I'm not so sure about that. Cena is the kind of guy who wants to give back to the business, so it's somewhat hard to imagine Cena winning his final wrestling match. Would Cena winning be an incredible moment? Absolutely. But Randy winning would be just as awesome and would be much deserving too. No matter what WWE does, I'm sure they're already planning for Cena's final opponent, and I think it's going to be absolutely special. I can also guarantee they won't give Cena the Kurt Angle treatment where he's forced to retire to Baron Corbin. But tell me who you guys think Cena will face in his retirement tour, and as always, please be sure to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and please leave a like. It really does go a long way. Thanks, and take care.